What's up YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome. In today's episode, we'll be following up from Wednesday's video of International Travel 101 Part 1, and this will be International Travel 101 Part 2. So if you haven't seen that video, I'll link it up here. We were talking about money, we talked about religion and culture, and we talked about specific laws that you should research if you are not sure of what those laws are. In this video, we'll be talking about more lighthearted things such as where to stay, adjusting the time zones, booking excursions, and proper dress. I feel like I should expand on that one a little bit more. So yeah, you want to see this video, then just keep on watching. So the first thing I want to start off with is time zones. Time zones vary tremendously and super drastically wherever it is that you are around the world. Sometimes it may only be an hour, sometimes it's a 6-hour difference forward, sometimes it's a 6-hour difference backwards. It could even be a 12-hour, 24. It's maybe not 24, but it gets kind of crazy with how the time zones change. The best advice I could give anybody is to sleep according to whatever time it is where you're headed. So European flights generally take off from the United States at night. So it'll be 7 something at night, but they're 5 hours ahead. So by the time you land in Europe, it's usually going to be like 9 o'clock in the morning, even though it may be like 2 o'clock in the morning wherever it is that you're from. So those are just some things to kind of go ahead and keep in mind. Sleep according to where you're going. Even when you're coming back, sleep according to where you're going. That's the best thing I could tell you. Stay hydrated and try not to let excitement keep you up all night and then you're trying to be sleeping all day. But I also suggest that if you're going to be traveling that far and the time zones are that drastic, to allow yourself one rest day, just to kind of recoup. Even if you do something light, don't plan big excursions. You might be too tired to do them. So give yourself a chance to rest and recuperate and figure out where it is that you are, that kind of thing, and then do it big the next day. So that's my advice on adjusting to time zones. So let's move on to where you should stay, an Airbnb or a hotel. Okay, let's talk about where we should stay. Keep in mind that you are a long way from home and that you should do anything that you possibly can to remain safe. I do understand that some Airbnbs do offer pretty cool experiences, specifically that I've seen in Bali, where you have this huge house and you get this flower bath and all this kind of cool stuff that people do want to experience, and that's fair game. I totally get that. My suggestion when using Airbnb is to use someone that is a super host, someone who has done multiple stays through Airbnb, someone who is reputable, someone who has more than one review, so that you have some kind of comfort level of where it is that you're staying, and you know that this one is pretty legit. It's okay for me to stay here. I'm gonna be fine. This and that. And make sure that you still follow the same at-home practices that you would anywhere else. If you are inside the house, lock the door. If you are leaving, lock the door. Make sure all the windows are closed, that type of thing. Also, make sure you research if the place has certain features that you may want. Because if you go to a hot place and it's like a third world country and they don't have AC, you don't want to be caught off guard by that. So you want to make sure that you have researched everything, you have whatever creature comforts it is that you feel like you need, or that you're completely aware of what you may have to go without with, and you decide for yourself if that's something that you want to do or not. Okay? Okay. As far as hotels go, I recommend staying with major chains. So it would be Hilton's International Group or something like that. It would be Intercontinental Hotels Group. It would be JW Marriott. Those types of large chain hotels. If they prove in solidarity wherever it is that you're from, it's probably safe to stay at those hotels in another country. So that's just kind of the rule of thumb. If it's something that you've seen wherever it is that you're from, then go ahead and stay in those same places when you go somewhere else. If you don't want to do that and you want a more local experience, again, just make sure you read up on the reviews and you make sure you know where you're going, you know where you're staying. So that's my advice on where you should stay. And the biggest thing is just make sure that you put your safety first and not the price first. Safety first. So if you do need to spend a little bit more for your safety, do it. All right. Let's move on to, should you dress to fit in, or should you just do your own thing? So with should you dress to fit in or should you dress to do your own thing, I'm usually 50-50 on this. It depends on the situation. I believe in self-expression. I don't understand why anyone should have to change the way they dress just because they are somewhere different, on one hand. On another hand, if the way that you dress will be offensive to that country's culture, that culture's religion, then yes, you should adapt to whatever it is that they are wearing. If it is a situation where you don't want to potentially be targeted, or you think that you'll be staying in a less popular place, then yes, you should dress like everyone else to avoid pickpocketing, to avoid being targeted as a tourist or someone trying to sell you something, that type of thing. Then yeah, you do probably want to dress to fit in so that you can blend in with everybody else and you won't stick out like you're a tourist. But even if you dress the same and you look as if you are lost and don't know where you're going, you kind of out yourself with that as well. So it's more than just what you wear. You know, people from all over live all over, to be honest. So you can't really pinpoint that too much. But I would say if it's going to be offensive to a culture or religion, adjust. If it's going to be a situation where you just are making a choice of do you want to blend in with everyone else to avoid being targeted, or you feel like, you know what, I got this, I'm not going to be targeted, I know how to handle people, and do your own thing. I think this is a personal choice and it's based off of your personality. So that's all I have to say about that one. And let's talk about booking excursions. So when it comes to booking excursions, this does play a little bit of a role in safety as well. I'll tell you guys a quick story. Basically, when I was on a cruise, we had the, I don't know his official title, but basically he was like the head of entertainment. And so he was telling us about how he booked something that was a third party or just whoever off the island, and they didn't have certain regulations on maintenance. So while he was riding this jet ski, the jet ski actually popped and he was injured. So it combusted pretty much in the water, and he was injured. But he was saying that it's important to book through someone that's reputable because they then have certain regulations that this particular partner has to follow. So yes, you need to do certain types of maintenance checks. Yes, you need to make sure that this is working properly, or whatever types of tests that these different excursions need to have. Make sure everything's working properly, you know, certain safety precautions are taken, that type of thing. So I completely understand why his reasoning was that. On the flip side though, you do have other people who would be less expensive. So I think that Expedia, Booking.com, places like that, third parties, are safe to book through. The reason why I say that is because yes, you're going to save money, but I do think that they do hold a standard of making sure that some of those same maintenance checks or regulations are, you know, held accountable. When it comes to Groupon usually doesn't go too much internationally unless it's an international trip that they are doing or putting together through like some kind of travel agent, and that's totally separate. But when it comes to an actual excursion, like you want to do a dinner cruise or you want to do something like that, you know, whatever, you just want to make sure that it's something that's reputable. You want to make sure that it's something that's safe. You want to make sure that it's something that has basically safety regulations, and that you don't end up in the same situation that, his name was Marcelo, I don't know if he'll ever find this video, but hi Marcelo, that Marcelo was experiencing with the jet ski. So once again, I don't recommend going cheap when it comes to your safety, but just make sure that you have asked the proper questions for your excursion and make sure that you're gonna be safe and it is reputable. And read the reviews, okay? People don't have a reason to just flat out and lie about an experience. So I think that if it's a good experience, you need to know that. I think if it's a bad experience, then you need to know that too. You need to know why and decide for yourself if that's a valid reason or not. Okay? Okay. Last thing that I want to talk to you guys about international travel 101 before I close out this video is to make sure that you study where you're going ahead of time. I think that one of the worst things anyone could do is be wandering around. Wandering is fun, but wandering can target you for danger. So you want to make sure that you don't look lost, and if you are lost, that you go somewhere and hook up to a Wi-Fi to figure out where it is that you are and navigate that way. That you ask someone who is employed somewhere, how do you get to da 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 da. Most people are usually very willing to help, but just make sure that you don't have that look of fear on your face, that you don't have a look of being lost, and that you have that confidence, like, I know where I'm going. And even if you don't know where you're going, keep that look of confidence as if you do know where you're going, especially if you're traveling alone. If you're traveling with a partner, it's less likely that someone will target a team. But if you are alone, there's just certain things that you should and should not do. So that's one of them. Make sure that you have researched the area as much as possible, and that you've looked to see what's where, how to get where, what trains you need to do. And this stuff is super easy to look up. It just takes maybe a few hours at a coffee shop for you to write down where your excursion is, or what it is that you're doing, what restaurant, what bus, plane, train, Uber, whatever it is that you need to take to get to where you're going, and make sure you know what's happening. Be in the know. Know your surrounding areas. So I hope this video has helped you guys, got your brains thinking. If you're planning an international trip and you just, don't really know what to expect, I hope that this video helps. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And be sure to comment below if you have any questions. And share this video with someone who you think might need it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.